I am Aligarlingappa, Assistant Professor, Government Postgrad College, Sirguppa. Now, I am discussing about Bohr's theory of atoms and atom, which is under the chapter Atomic Models. Our previous class we have discussed about J.J. Thomson's model and Rutherford's model. Bohr's postulates to overcome the problems of Rutherford's atom in 1913, Niels Bohr put forth three postulates that sum up most of his model. So there are three models. First one, the electron is able to revolve in certain stable orbits around the nucleus without radiating any energy. So that means, what about the electron which are revolving around the nucleus in an atom? So which do not radiating any energy. Then which obeys classical electromagnetism. That means, according to electromagnetism, if any charged particle in motion which radiates energy continuously and finally it becomes rest. But Bohr stated that what about the electron which revolving in the orbit which does not radiating any energy? These stable orbits are called stationary orbits and are attained at certain discrete distances from the nucleus. The electron cannot have any other orbit in between the discrete ones. The stationary orbits are attained at distances for which the angular momentum of the revolving electron is an integral multiple of a reduced Planck's constant. That means MVR is equal to NH cross, where H cross is equal to H by 2 pi. So, according to Bohr's theory, what about the electron which revolving in the circular path? Its angular momentum MVR that must be equal to NH cross, where H cross is equal to H by 2 pi, H is Planck's constant, where n is a principal quantum number which can take the values 1, 2, 3, etc. Then we know that H is equal to 6.6 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joule seconds. Electrons can only gain and lose energy by jumping from one allowed orbit to another. Absorbing or emitting electromagnetic radiation with a frequency nu determined by the energy difference of the levels. According to the Planck's relation, delta E is equal to E2 minus E1 is equal to h nu, where h is Planck's constant. So, where the electrons which are revolving in the circular orbit, as long as the electrons are revolving in the circular orbit, so does not radiating any energy. But they emits energy only when they can jump from higher energy level to lower energy level, higher orbit to lower orbit. The amount of energy radiated during the transition of electron from higher energy orbit to lower energy orbit. So delta E is equal to E2 minus E1 is equal to h nu, where h is Planck's constant. It emits the energy in the form of radiation, that means in the form of photons, according to quantum theory of radiation. The atoms will only emit light, that is electromagnetic radiation, at a certain discrete frequencies. Starting from the angular momentum quantum rule, Bohr was able to calculate the energies of the allowed orbits of the hydrogen atom and other hydrogen-like atoms and ions. So these orbits are associated with definite energies and are also called energy shells or energy levels. In these orbits, the electron's acceleration does not result in radiation and energy loss. The Bohr model of an atom was based upon Planck's quantum theory of radiation. So here the quantum theory of radiation, which gave an idea about the particle nature of light. That means the dual nature of light. The light, that means electromagnetic waves, which consists of discrete pockets of energy. Each pocket of energy is known as quanta, where the quanta which behaves as a particle known as photon, so called the energy of photon is given by E is equal to h nu. Limitations of Bohr's model of the hydrogen atom. Bohr's model does not work well for complex atoms. So, the Bohr's model explained only hydrogen atom and hydrogen-like atoms. Bohr's model does not work well for complex atoms. It could not explain why some spectral lines are more intensive than others. So we know H alpha, H beta, H gamma, so there are the different lines in Balmer series. They have different intense, so-called. It could not explain the intensity of spectral lines. It could not explain why some spectral lines split into multiple lines in the presence of a magnetic field. That means the Bohr's model could not explain fine structure of spectral lines. When the magnetic field is applied to the spectral lines, maybe H alpha, H beta, H gamma, Under that condition, they are not in a single state. They consist of the group of states, substates. The Heisenberg's uncertainty principle contradicts Bohr's idea of electrons existing in specific orbits with a known radius and velocity. So these are the limitations of the Bohr's model of hydrogen atom. So then radii of Bohr's stationary orbits, the expression for radii of Bohr's stationary orbits are n is equal to n square h square epsilon naught by pi m z e square, where n say integer, it can take the value of 1, 2, 3 like that, or radius of the nth orbit, h Planck's constant, epsilon naught electric constant, say dielectric constant, m mass of the electron, z the atomic number of the atom, e elementary charge. So this is the expression for so-called radii of Bohr's stationary orbit. The radius of Bohr's stationary orbit is directly proportional to square of the principal quantum number, so-called n. Then the expression for velocity of electron in Bohr's stationary orbit, Vn is equal to z e square by 2h epsilon naught into 1 by n, where the velocity of electron in the stationary orbit is inversely proportional to principal quantum number Vn is proportional to 1 by n. So the expression for velocity of electron in Bohr's stationary orbit, where z atomic number, e charge of the electron, n orbit number, h Planck's constant, epsilon naught as usual electric constant, so dielectric constant. Permittivity of free space. A total energy of electron in both stationary orbits, En is equal to m e to the power of 4 by 8 epsilon square h square by z square n square. M e to the power of 4 z square by 8 epsilon square h square n square, where m mass of the electron, e charge of the electron, epsilon naught square, so permittivity of free space h square. Then substituting all those values, then finally we will get En is equal to 13.6 into z square by n square electron volt minus 13.6. The negative sign means that the electron is bound to the nucleus. That means the energy of the electron is inversely proportional to, so En square directly proportional to z square. Although these equations were derived under the assumptions that electron orbits are circular, subsequent experiments conducted by Sommerfeld, the fact that the equations hold true even for elliptical orbits. That means according to Bohr's atomic model, where the electrons which are revolving around the nucleus in the circular orbits, whereas according to Sommerfeld's model, where the electrons revolving around the nucleus in an elliptical orbit. So, in the different elliptical orbits. Thank you.